All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in today. It's Logan with Next Level Z, and we've got Sean Pistoki.
Hey, guys.
We've got our first feature match for the day. It is going to be Joey versus Alec Root. Looks like Alec is going to be on the right.
Oh no, those are man.
Hi, so we got this here. We've got a 40-minute round.
Is there any way that I can get a chair? Slide down the chair and put this on this, so I gotta get just stand slide your
Some ranging happening right now as everybody gets in their position.
I don't think the store is used to holding this many players for an event.
The biggest, this is event.
It's the largest region.
So I know store the match. The one Alec has needs to move up. We're doing store as part of hosting the event here. We have to do the ends mat in this. So Alec's mat is all.
Next level Z's right.
Next level Z's right. His is off. He's got to align it, but we have to change the mats. Alec Rudin and Joey Walter. Do you know if Joey?
I did not get a chance to scout decks,
Oh,
but
hopefully it'll be interesting.
I actually hope he's playing the same deck though.
I was actually really bummed last week when Alec was not playing. When Alec's deck was not in core, because I love that orange.
I also think it's really well positioned even after Gen Con because it has what it takes to beat blue, which is saying a lot for an English.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's just able to be aggressive and still work toward it, which you don't see that often. It's been a very weak style.
The Mechian before this, right?
Yeah.
But I think Garlic has a great personality that he's kind of like in the same vein as the Mechian, where he can switch to ball victory that his opponent doesn't have great answers. That's part of the reason we saw early on in set 3 black, because you can searching technique, scout maneuver, you can check out your opponent's decks, even have ways to interact with Dragon Balls, and if you didn't, you could just go that route instead of trying to go for NPPP.
Yeah, making good use of information is something that it's something that people always like to say is a highlight of most black players, and I think it's one of those things that I think you need to be very careful about when moving forward in this game. Anytime you're playing any style, but the amount of information that a black deck gets access to throughout the game, the difference between like a high caliber player and a low caliber player is going to be how they use that info.
Another thing is, started a lot of controversy was the note taking, right, with black, and that's another powerful tool too. Is when you play a black, note taking on your opponents might matter, because what if you face them in top cut again? You can go back before the match, review your notes, and you know what they're playing. Maybe you might know the ratios from when you black searching technique and scout maneuver, so you know already what you want to name with it. So I guess when we see more high level play move on, I would like to see more note taking
Yeah.
Because I think it's very valuable. Information is key.
I mean, especially, so one deck that makes excellent use of information that's not a black deck, but we've seen it in the past 2 tournaments, and I think we saw it more. The Blue Piccolo deck that won.
Yes.
Previously, you know, I'm not typically a fan of Mental Drill in an aggressive deck because it doesn't change your line of play at all. It allows you to have some information about what your opponent has, but as far as making use of knowing what's in your opponent's hand, the deck that really does that, the thing that deck really does well is the fact that you can use your Bulma to shut down your opponent. There have been some versions of it that have shown up playing Energetic Left Blast, which you can use to reset your Bulma. And I think the deck's going to have to adapt and be a bit more aggressive as it proceeds down that path.
I think definitely, because if a deck like that is more and slows down the format, better decks that are better at playing slow game. Like Black Control is another good example of it. Not just Krillin, but any type of Black Control is really good versus Blue as well. Because they give you all the time you want to set up, and you can pick them apart without going into combat, basically. Or without dealing damage in combat. So here we see he is running Black Krillin, and I'm really happy that he is running Red Garlic. I think if he gets the matchups this weekend, he's going to be rewarded for picking Red Garlic.
Oh yeah, I think he very easily could go the distance. So it's going to be important for us to track that anger for Alex. So
a lot more than Krillin, right?
Yeah, a lot more than Krillin. I think Joey's pretty deliberate about not leveling up, especially with that particular Krillin level 1.
One random side note, though, I'm surprised that I don't see any angry Krillin. I think if the meta calls for it or becomes faster, I actually think angry Krillin is not that bad of a choice because you get to level up into a must block attack and you gain an extra POR.
That's
which
true.
Is, you know, versus some matches, maybe the permanent crit doesn't do anything.
Being able to go more aggressive.
Yeah, not only that, it's just, I don't know, I like to talk about must block attacks, and when you pair with Black has so many must block attacks. You have Energy Web, Defensive Burst, and with your power, it's like if you don't block it, you're going to lose a card. It puts your opponent in a weird situation, and even though the control like allies, anger, and Dragon Balls, I think there's a merit to being angry Krillin to level up if the metagame calls for it.
Well, one thing that the angry love also, that deck will level up like crazy.
So it looks like Alec went first and he just passed. It looks like they're both passing Dragon Ball
7.
So I don't expect Krillin to enter much because I'm assuming he's just a normal black passive build, which really favors Alec because he made his Garlic deck to kind of prey on passive because he can set up and go for when he wants to anger. And just like this turn right now, if he entered, he would have drawn 3 setups and not been able to do anything. And same with yours. Very passive plays right now, just going.
Looks like we got some glare at present.
Yeah, we got some glare foils. You guys should unbling your decks for us on the stream. That'd be great. Use premium KMC.
Oh yeah,
that's a plug.
Get those
Sponsor me KMC, please. I'll use your sleeves forever.
Free, I mean, who could turn down free sleeves from?
So it looks like he was a great card that came out of set 2, and we have and another pass in 8.
Joey's very much in the tank right now.
I can't quite make out his hand to see what he's actually thinking about. I see a swipe. Can't really see much else in there.
Shadowing.
Discarded upward dodge.
Want right now. You want to send that card back into the deck and find a way to use it.
I also
later.
don't see him actually foreshadowing this game, probably. So black control always puts people in an awkward spot, especially when he gets smooth this show early because people are hesitant to enter, but it looks like he is entering because he has to stare down. Scout, swipe, wall breaker, and what is that, dense ball? Sorry, the black knife hand, I always forget what the actual name is. So here is interesting. If he doesn't have an answer to a wall, he's probably going to take it. Signals that he doesn't. Let's see. The blocks he probably won't take because. Okay, it looks like he's going to scout. Take scout because he doesn't want him to take one of the wall breaker's answers.
Yeah.
And here he leads up with wall breaker right away. Kind of like sitting on the wall breaker in combat a little bit more. Unless you think he's going to have two stairs. Baited him doing that and he has an answer, then you wasted your wall breaker. And he does have a mule kick. That was gross. I would have sat on that wall breaker a little bit longer.
It was very high value play for Alec at that point.
He was in his head there though when he didn't take the wall breaker. So
it was a really solid prediction of Joey and what he was going to do there.
Power. I like that he expends his Krillin. Can't say tap, that's trademarked.
He turns it. There's actually a trademark on turning a card 90 degrees as well, which is interesting. So he turns it 91 degrees.
Well, back in the score days when we worked at Score, we worked on Inuyasha, we had to call it expend because you know, Wizards they don't mess around with trademarks.
Okay, you have verses with exhaust. WoW also used exhaust actually, just because.
Even the waste of that wall breaker is pretty huge now. He can kind of plan out the rest of the couple turns, assuming that he doesn't get another wall breaker anytime soon. I love the red setups in this build. He has no hurry to use them. He can use them when it best maximizes everything.
I mean, like the thing is, the Krillin deck generally tries to profit against people who are going to be, you know, trying to be the aggressor there, and Alec can just play possum the whole time until he's ready to win the game.
So he got lucky there. His Mastery of Corruption hit a ball, so it's very unlikely that he can go for ball victory now, but I think Anger is probably a little bit easier versus Krillin anyway.
He does have information gathering to get that ball back, but I mean, even still, that was ball 2, wasn't it?
Ball 1, I believe.
Ball 1, okay.
There we go. Now he's gonna pop. Get some free Anger here. That too. I like the way he timed that Red City destruction. Because that means if Joy wants to enter on his turn, he's still going to have that floating effect going to prevent Krillin level 1 power from blowing Anger. Red Blaze to level up. Now we're at a really nice modifier, better than level 1. He can kind of take Krillin's attack whenever he wants.
League of Legends.
And so, did he not rejuvenate for his Red Blaze?
I don't think that he did.
Let's go with actually.
Oh wait, now they're remembering it.
Okay.
It should not be the blocking hand. He discarded to master.